Hello, everyone. I am Lena from Calling All Crows. Excited to be here tonight. For those of you who don't know what Calling All Crows is, we are a nonprofit that works to connect music fans to feminist movements for justice and equality. And we do that by working with incredible organizations like Return to the Heart, who we have with us here tonight. This is such a special partnership for us because for the last 3 years, we've been doing Warrior Women Wednesdays together during the month of November. We've loved being able to amplify the voices of Native women through this partnership, and we're so excited to be back again tonight. Gina, can you tell us a little bit about what Return to the Heart Foundation does and what we have in store for tonight?
Absolutely. So Return to the Heart Foundation is a foundation that was created by Native women for Native women and girls. We are looking to turn the tide and on the narrative, so lifting up voices of Native women and flexing to know, let the world know we are still here. We are strong, we are resilient, and we are bringing healing solutions to our communities, to the nation, and to the world, especially around climate justice. Because we have been targeted for our land and resources, there's a lot of healing that needs to happen, not just, in our communities, but in the country, as a whole. And so Return to the Heart is focusing on investing in and lifting up and supporting those women, those Native women healers who are out there. We have a grant portfolio that supports traditional helpers and healers. So Native women across the country who are doing projects that are making a difference in their community. You're going to learn about many of them through this series that we call our Heart to Heart Warrior Women Wednesday.
And then, Gina, can you just tell us a little bit about who we're going to have on the stream tonight, what folks can expect? I know I'm very excited to see some of the artists we have involved.
Yes, absolutely. We're going to kick it off with our co-founder, Sarah Eaglehart. Sarah Eaglehart, myself, and now Senator Red Dawn Foster came together and dreamed of creating a foundation that would support Native women. There are foundations out there that have a portfolio or have, a fund that may support Native women, but we are 100% all about supporting Native women, and it's so much needed. Native women are underfunded as a demographic across, the whole in philanthropy, and without specific intention to support Native women, we often get left out. And so Sarah Eaglehart is first up. She is doing amazing work. We are so proud of her, and she's going to share a little bit about some of the projects that she's doing currently. And then we have Tami Buffalohead McGill. And with her, she brought an elder who's working with her, Peggy Genovese, who when she started her project, had no idea it would have gotten so big because the needs were there. The needs for Native women to have the connection, to have healing and support. And so she's going to tell about her Healing Ribbons project. It's really awesome, and how the helpers, even in her community, came to help. And then we're going to close up with one of our favorite artist, Ray Zaragoza. And Ray has a brand new album out. And on this album are some really powerful songs. The one that we're going to share tonight is Hold That Spirit. And it fits in perfect. When you are able to see the entirety, you're going to see how amazing the strand of healing and holding on to your spirit is throughout this show tonight. And then next week, we're going to have Ray actually on an interview, and she's going to share about another song, the backstory, and how powerful writing this song has been to her in her life.
Amazing. Well, we are so excited for what tonight has in store. If you've been a long-term supporter of Calling All Crows, you know just how much we love Ray too. So we're so excited to see this music video and to have her return next week. Perfect. Well, let's get started here.
So excited to have Tiana Spotted Thunder here with us today. I'm going to let her introduce herself, and she's going to share a very special song with us today.
Medakiapi, Chante Washte Nape, Chiuzapi, Tiana Spotted Thunder, Imachapi, Nala Kolia, Tashiog Mukahoash Dewi, Hemie, Ogalala, Amadaha, Ash Hesapa, Iktawatik Sto, Diana Chianka Piksto, Na Diana Hipiksto. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Warrior Women Wednesday, Warrior Wea Wednesday. This is Tiana Spotted Thunder, and my Lakota name is Good Voice Meadowlark Woman. It's good to see you all. I am hailing out of Rapid City at the moment. I am actually part of the Oglala Sioux tribe, and I am a 2021 grantee for a music program, our music project that I'm working on right now. And I'm super excited to share that with you all. And part of the project was composing songs. So I wanted to share a really special song with you guys. A song that I composed and shared at the 2023 summer solstice with Return to the Heart Foundation. We all got to sing it together, and I hope there's a few of the ladies on today that know the song and can sing along with me. So I'd love to share this special encouragement song with you guys today. And charge blame each And charge blame each and charge blame each Thank you so much.
So, Sarah, I'm so excited to have you here for Native American Heritage Month's Warrior Woman Wednesday. As co-founder and really just someone who has been dreaming big for so long and doing exciting projects, it's great that we can finally get to hear your insights. Well, I get to hear them, but everyone can hear your insights, what you're excited about, you know, the different projects that you're doing, and really just, you know, help people get a better understanding of, you know, some of the great work that you're doing. Can we start off with the book? Can you share? Let me ask you to introduce yourself to everyone, and then let's launch into your book.
Sure. Hi, Gina. Happy to be here at Heart to Heart. My name is Sarah Eagleheart. My Lakota name is Wambli Shinawi, which means Eagle Shawl Woman. I'm Oglala Lakota. I grew up on Pine Ridge Indian Reservation, and yeah, just happy to be here.
Great. So share a little bit about your book and what inspired you to even write a book, and how's it going as far as what kind of feedback have you been hearing? And we know it's making a difference already.
Yeah, the book journey started maybe 4 or 5 years ago when my identical twin sister, Emma Eaglehart White, who's also a psychotherapist now in Oneida Nation, she and I both individually came to the idea that we were supposed to write a book. And so we're very spiritual and intuitive. And of course, we have a lot of like twin things where we think each other's thoughts and stuff like that. But, just one day I told her, I think I'm supposed to write a book. And she was like, me too. I was like, well, what's your book about? She said, healing. And I was like, mine too. And so we just knew, like at that moment, we were supposed to write a book together. And what we decided to do was to write a book that was in memoir form, that could also be a personal development book. We both started our healing journey like in our 20s when she became a psychotherapist. And so we also have children, and of course, are both educators and are both in our different fields, mine more so in advocacy and education, and hers in psychotherapy. And we wanted to tell stories that were about a modern Native women dealing with everything that we have to deal with today, but also how it relates back historically and culturally to our community, the Oglala Lakota people. So we wanted to educate. We wanted to help people heal, Native and non-Native. And at the same time, we wanted to share a perspective that is never heard, usually in the self-help sort of space. So that's how we started with Warrior Princesses Strike Back, how Lakota twins healed through connectedness. That's how we all began.
Great, great. Now, as you've been doing book events and getting out there and talking to people who have read your book, what kind of feedback are you hearing?
For me, I think of course, everybody says it's deep, because it is. It's very deep. I think the experience that most Native women have in the modern day is usually deep. We have a lot of things that we go through with our family and our friends and relationships and professional work. So it's something that we wanted to share, experiences of challenges that we faced. But we also wanted to share tips of how we overcame things that helped us get through the hard times, but also things that we wish we would have known, or, just things like that. And it was written as a love letter to our younger selves. So we sort of were targeting a younger Native female audience, of course, knowing everybody else is going to read the book and learn from this perspective. And I think one of the experiences for me that has been so touching is that I had an elder Navajo woman who told me that she read the book, and she was a mother of a really close friend of mine. And, and I always ask people when they say they read the book, I'm like, oh, what's your favorite part? And I expect something general usually, but she was like, no, my favorite part is when it says to call your spirit back. And this is something that my sister does in her practice, where she teaches people that, every trauma that we have, that there's a little piece of you and your spirit and that gets separated, and that you should do a practice of calling your spirit back. And she talks about how to do it. And so this elder was standing there, and she said, yeah, and she's older, and she's probably in her 70s. And she was just like, I stood there and I lifted my hands up and I called my spirit back, and I said my name 3 times, and I called my spirit back, and it was so meaningful, because she just said, it was for her. She was a very big reader, grew up on the Navajo res. She's somebody that is a very traditional Navajo woman, and she's reading this modern day book about Lakota women, which, of course it's like, because, this is such a difference of, things that we're sharing. We're sharing the reality of what Native women have to go through. And she talked about, how she had a lot of trauma in her life and how that really brought back to her things that she needed to heal from. So I think, like, for me, it's those conversations with, Native people, and in particular, even elders who we did not target for our book, but saying that it helped them in a very meaningful way. And I think, like, that was the goal of our writing the book in the first place, was just to inspire people to heal, but also help people be vulnerable and share their shame, because I think there's just a lot of things that Native women endure and we never talk about. And it was part of just, shedding a light on, those things and those experiences, and making peace with it. And also knowing that, there's so much that we can do and so much that is ahead of us. And I think part of that is just learning how to find your own joy and live out your own joy. And you have to do that through healing.
That's beautiful. Love it. Now, what if people are not big readers? Can they
Oh,
listen?
it's also an audiobook. Yeah, it's on Spotify. So you can find it there as well.
Okay, wonderful.
And we did read it ourselves. So you're actually going to hear both of our voices on there.
Awesome. That's not always the case with some
No.
books, so that's great. Another project that's very exciting is you have executive produced Lakota Nation versus the US. Can you tell us about that project?
Yeah, Lakota Nation versus the United States is a documentary about the Black Hills of South Dakota, Hesapa. It's the heart of everything that is. That's what we call it. It's our birthplace as Lakota people, and many tribes were felt this way about the Black Hills spiritually, and felt that it was sacred. And it's about stolen land that was taken from us. It was given, we had treaty right to the land, and then it was taken when gold was found there, the whole gold rush. And there was a court case where it went all the way up to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court actually agreed that it was a taking for the Lakota people, and awarded $100 million to the Oceti Sakowin, the 7 different council fires of the Lakota, Nakota, Dakota. And our tribes refused to take the money. It's now accrued interest to almost $2 billion, and we won't take the money. And our people are a humble people. Many of our communities are still poverty stricken. And so it's a big deal that we won't take the money. And this is a contemporary story about that. But I think what people love about our film is that not only is it visually stunning, the pace is really great. Like, you're never bored. It's just, it moves you along very quickly through different stories that are important to our people. And then at the same time, the sound is incredible. Our score was done by Raven Chacon, who won the Pulitzer Prize back in 2022. And it was also co-written by Laylee Long Soldier, who is a poet, and she just does an incredible job of integrating her poetry through the education. And so we're excited because right now we've been nominated for a Critics' Choice Award in 2 areas: Best Political Documentary and Best Historical Documentary. And one of our directors, we have 2 directors. One of our directors is actually the first Native to ever get into Doc NYC Film Festival, which is a very prestigious film festival that predicts Oscar nominations. So we're just in a very amazing moment for our film. And I'm very excited for Jesse because, Jesse Shortbull is one of our co-directors, and he's somebody who is very passionate about history. He's very passionate about, trying to help our people. And so it's just really incredible to see all of his his work and the hard work of the team. There's a lot of other Indigenous EPs on the project, including Jody Archambault, Kevin Killer. And so we've definitely supported him and the whole process of just making sure that we get it right and get the information right and make sure that the story is told from a very balanced perspective. So yeah, we're excited about that. And so we're on the Oscar campaign trail right now.
That's so exciting. That's so exciting.
I know, we're so close. I mean, it's like it's so funny because everybody's so superstitious. They're like, you can't say it. But I say it all the time. You know.
Oh, well, just as they're recognizing you, my 11-year-old grandson recognized the film. I took him to see it, and at one point he stood up in the movie theater, both hands raised, and cheered. He didn't care who was listening. And then randomly he keeps asking me, did we get our land back yet?
We're working on it. Okay. It's a whole process. We're working on it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think like that's been one of the best things is it's such a great teaching tools for younger generations. And I think that's part of our intention too, is that to make sure that we're telling the story from the Lakota lens, because it's always told from a non-native lens. And so it's so important for us to support narrative change and narrative shift. And so our film is definitely important in telling our side of the story and also encouraging younger generations, because, you know, this is a fight that many of us grew up knowing, and we want future generations to understand this fight and why it's important. And you know, so it's been fun to see young people come to the events, and I always love that, you know, while a film can be so deep and, you know, transformative and just all the feelings, but at the end it's like everybody's Akishaing and Lilaing at the end of the film, and I'm like, wow, you know, because everybody is inspired and they love it and it makes them proud. And so I think like that's what's so amazing to be a part of this project, and that practically nobody hates our film, like even our own people love our film, who can be the harshest critics sometimes, and they love our film. So, you know, we're happy about that, and we're 100% on Rotten Tomatoes, and critics love us. We're a New York Times critics pick as well. So we're definitely hoping to get that nomination.
Yes, that's so wonderful. Now, those are just two of the things that you've been doing lately that are exciting. But, you know, just in your whole journey, you know, you've done so much, and, you know, a lot of it's always been around, you know, fighting for justice for, you know, Indigenous people, for women specifically, and just, you know, really trying to, make a difference. What would you tell younger women, even older women who haven't necessarily, you know, they have their own dreams and visions, but they haven't necessarily stepped out? What would you say to those folks?
I mean, I don't think there's any age in which to start doing what you feel called to do. I'll use that terminology of calling. I do think that being a spiritual person who is traditionally spiritual Lakota and have also been raised with Christianity, Episcopalian, religion as well. I'm somebody who I just believe that everybody has a specific purpose on this earth. And I think that if you tap into your intuition and your own knowing, then you'll know which way that you're supposed to go. I think that you are able to tap in quicker when you actually take the time to deal with your own individual trauma, and understanding your own self in the world is just really key to getting to where you're supposed to be. And I'm not saying you have to be perfect. I think nobody is perfect on that path. I'm definitely not perfect. And I think what I've really kind of stuck to are some, teachings that I learned as, being a wounded healer, and like knowing that it's okay to be imperfect. It's okay to like make mistakes and get things wrong. As long as you're able to just recenter and reground yourself. And I think that when you have a particular faith in what you're meant to do in this world, then you can act on it. And I think for me, it's always been, if I see somewhere where I can make an impact, or if I see a shortcut, or if I see a connection that is really going to make a difference in my community, in my world, I want to go there. Because for me, I've always just really felt a lot of frustration that a lot of the issues have been impacting my community systemically forever. And, I feel like if we're going to make change, it's going to have to be some big steps around healing, but also being in places that we're not used to being. And, for me, like writing a book is new, being on an Oscar campaign is new, but I'm entering it as a student and learning the process so that more people will know the process later on down the road, and I can teach it to other people as well. So I don't think there's no right time to do anything. I think it's when you feel you're ready and when you feel like you have the right support team around you. And I think you can just do whatever you want to do. I think everybody can. But for me, having faith in my purpose is really what drives me. And I have that support, from my family and from my partner and from my sister. And so it's good to have like that support group that is always, cheering you on and supporting you in like whatever you do.
Awesome. Now, if folks want to learn more, they want to see if there's an event or a screening or something upcoming, how can they get that information?
Yeah, you can always follow me on Instagram. I'm a little bit more active there, under MS_Eagleheart. And then you can also follow Lakota Nation versus the United States at Lakota Nation Film on Instagram. I know they're also on Facebook. And then our book journey is at Warrior Princesses Strike Back. It's Warrior Princesses X Back. And we do have some book signings coming up. I'm not sure when this is going to be out there, but we have one this Saturday in Gallup, New Mexico, at the Walmart there. And then we have another one on November 19th, it's Friday. And that's going to be in Chicago. November 17th, sorry. Friday, November 17th in Chicago at the Union League Club.
Well, wonderful. Thank you so much, Sarah. I appreciate you coming on and sharing an update of what you're doing. And, so many folks will be following, and I encourage everyone to get out and see Lakota Nation. It is amazing. And read the book.
Yeah, our film is available now on demand and also on AMC Plus. So thanks, Gina, for having me.
All right. Take care.
Bye, everybody.
Tami and Peggy, I'm so happy you're here today to share about Healing Ribbons and what it's about. First of all, would you mind giving yourself a quick introduction?
Sure. First, I'd like to thank you, Gina, for making this happen. Without you, Healing Ribbons wouldn't exist. So thank you and all the work that you and your team have done. My name is Tami Buffalohead McGill. I'm Ponca from the Ponca tribe of Oklahoma. I'm also Deer Clan. I live in Omaha, Nebraska, and I'm 56 years old and I'm retired. And in my retirement, I unwittingly started a organization that became Healing Ribbons. It is an organization that's designed to bring together intergenerational women and their families to heal from historical trauma, utilizing our shared knowledge, our culture, and our traditions and our ceremonies, with the idea that by healing the matriarchs, we heal the families.
Yes, my name is Peggy Genovese, and we are here Halloween. And I am a enrolled member of the Yankton Sioux tribe. I'm 75 years old, a retired nurse. And I got excited about when Tami came up with the Healing Ribbons organization to help young people, old people, young, all ages, to sew regalia and healing through the sewing. So yes, I'm excited about the program.
Beautiful. So Tami, if you would give us a little bit background about Healing Ribbons and what's on your heart, what are you most excited about today?
Sure. I'm so excited that Judy's here with me, because without Judy, we really wouldn't have been able to do what we wanted to do, because I personally don't know how to sew regalia. I don't know how to sew or bead or any of those things. I'm an administrator. And so that's what I was good at, was basically putting together the coordination, getting everybody mobilized, getting the facilities, things like that. And we became a nonprofit in December of last year. So now we're an official nonprofit organization. We've served over 105 members. We have a tribal representation from all over, with the bulk of our group, of course, being Ponca and Omaha because of where we're located. But we also have quite a few Lakota women that have been wonderful about volunteering and helping us to teach everything from beading to fan making to moccasins to tea dresses, ribbon skirts, ribbon shirts, you name it, shawls, everything. And because of bringing the women together, one of the things that we noticed was there was healing by sharing that wisdom and that culture, but there was also another piece that we needed. In order to heal from historical trauma, we also needed a venue where we could do some therapeutic activities and exercises. And by connecting with Dr. Anitra Warrior, she was able to come in and provide talking circles for our women. And she also does telehealth counseling for them as well. So we were able to bring that healing element in. In addition to bringing in that element, we also learned that we heal from our ceremonies, and we haven't been doing our ceremonies. And so we brought in Linda Sue White Eyes to do a calling back the spirit ceremony. And there's so much healing from that. We had 36 women and youth show up for that ceremony. On our regular Sundays, we do all of our activities on Sundays, Saturdays, and Fridays, because a lot of our women work and have family obligations. So we do everything on the weekends, and all of the activities that we do are staffed by volunteers. So, for example, Valerie Kilspro comes in and teaches how to make fans, or how to make moccasins, or how to make belts. Judy and Yvonne and Gwen do a lot with the sewing. So we have a lot of different volunteers that have come forward to help us make this a reality. And we did get a grant. We wrote some grants, and we got money to create a project we call the Art of Healing, Story, Stitches, and the Sacred, because we're combining all of those aspects. And this started in July, and it's going to end in December with a fashion show. And basically what it's doing is the women are sewing into their regalia. They're putting into their regalia their healing story, their journey. And then they're going to be able to share that not only with their families and their friends, but also non-natives, so that they can understand about historical trauma. They can understand the resiliency of Native women, and they can appreciate regalia as an art form.
Yeah, that sounds amazing. Sounds amazing. So, Judy, what are you most excited about?
Yes, I like she was saying, I'm most excited about the fashion show, and hoping it all goes together well, and watching these women show off what they did and been working so hard on. Yeah, it's going to be an exciting time on December 3rd on a Sunday afternoon. So we hope we have a lot of people attend. I know there's a lot of buzz already about people wanting to come. So yeah, that's what we're most excited about right now.
So December 3rd, from what time and where?
4 to 6 at Creighton Lead Performing Arts Center in Omaha, Nebraska.
Wonderful. Wish I could come. I'm
Yeah,
actually on the opposite side of the country at that time.
Yes, yes.
So Tami, let me just ask you one last question. And that is, what would you tell other Native women who are thinking about a project, who have something in their heart that they want to do, but haven't stepped out yet? What advice would you give them?
I would say do it. Because when we did this, we had no idea that there would be such a demand and such a wellspring of people wanting to be involved. I initially thought we'd have like 10 to 20 people come forward. And we had over 100 people come forward. And then what was even more remarkable was when 100 people came forward, I was like, oh my goodness, how are we going to make this happen? But then all these people came out to help and to volunteer their time, like Judy. Judy's been a dedicated volunteer. Every Saturday she comes and helps people with their regalia for 3 hours on a Saturday. We just had so many people come forward that were willing to help us, not only natives, but non-natives. When they found out about our project and what we were doing and why it was important, we started getting donations. We started getting people promoting it and talking to other people, sharing what we were doing to get more donations. The tribes and the different organizations locally became wonderful resources for us in terms of letting us use their space, initially even letting us use some of their equipment like sewing machines, things like that. So I would say do it, share it with other people that you know, share it on Facebook. Facebook became like a huge support for us. That's where everybody got connected, was through Facebook. And don't be afraid to tell people. Be more surprising to you than you'll realize is how many people will actually share in thinking that that's a good idea and want to be a part of it and support it. So don't be afraid to just put it out there. And of course, take advantage of resources like the grant through the Return to the Heart Foundation Helpers and Healers, because that can help you get your start.
Yes. And if you are interested in applying, the deadline is next week on Monday at 9 a.m. Pacific time. So hope you are inspired. I definitely am. And I am so proud and thankful for you, Tami, and all the work that you're doing and will do in the future. So thank you for joining us for Warrior Women Wednesday.
Thank you.
Do you ever feel the bite of the wolves that haunt the night? Oh, oh. Do you ever hate the sting of feeling everything? Oh, oh. Cross your heart and hope to die. Look that monster in the eye. Hold on, lightning. Don't close your eyes when it's frightening. Let that thunder grow. Through the ages, you open up all the cages. Hold that spirit close. Have you ever felt alone in the shadow of your home? Oh. Have you ever felt like you could fall and slip right through? Oh, 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 oh. It's your heart and hope to die. Look that monster in the eye. Hold on, lightning. Don't close your eyes when it's frightening. Let that thunder grow. Through the ages, you open up all the cages. Hold that spirit. Hold that spirit close. 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 Hold that spirit. Cross your heart and hope to die. Look that monster in the eye. Cross your heart and hope to die. Look that monster in the eye. Cross your heart and hope to die. Look that monster in the eye. Hold on, lightning. Don't close your eyes when it's frightening. Let that thunder grow. Through the ages, we open up all the cages. Hold that spirit. Hold that spirit close. Hold that spirit. 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 Hold that spirit close. Hold that spirit. Hold that spirit close. Hold that spirit. 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 Hold that spirit close. Hold that spirit. Hold that spirit close. Hold that spirit. Hold that spirit close.
That was Amazing. Gina, thank you so much again for bringing such incredible and powerful women to this space tonight. We really appreciate being able to work with you all and to amplify these voices.
Yes. And if you're out there listening and you want to join us in allyship and be a supporter, and allyship means opening up doors, passing the mic, and also supporting us and to empower other grassroots visionaries who are rematriating our world to counter the negative effects of colonization and patriarchy. So many Native women leaders are out there struggling. And, that's the reason we exist, is so that we can support them and lift them up. You can join our circle of support, and you can give as little as $1 through Act Blue on a monthly basis. But of course, we welcome larger gifts. But really, it's being connected with us and joining us in really being that social justice, social equity organization that is focused on Native women. Sister solidarity.
Yes, we love that. Please, please, please. We have this information coming up on the screen right now. Please be sure to look, to give what you can, to continue to support Return to the Heart Foundation, to support these powerful women who spoke and who performed tonight. And just keep them in mind as we're going through the month of November and every other month of the year, and how you can support and amplify the voices of Native women.